Reader on our website, the fact is impeachment is and has always been a political process. There doesn't have to be any real crime or wrongdoing, just political support for impeachment. This impeachment is particularly hyper-partisan with extreme, divisive, hyperbolic rhetoric on both sides. Would you agree with that, Adi?
I think so. I would agree with that. When you look at the previous two impeachments that have happened, especially more recently with President Clinton, there were more Republicans that broke with the party at the time in order to align with the Democrats, and you saw that on various occasions. In this particular case, this was the most partisan party line vote that you have seen when it comes to impeachment. There were only 2 or 3 members of Congress on the Democratic side that were willing to oppose their party's leadership, and Nancy Pelosi. So only time will tell what will happen in terms of the party line vote, what that might come about in the Senate. But I imagine that it might be very similar.
All right, and Craig, do you agree? No real crime or wrongdoing has happened here?
No, and look, I mean, there were 4 constitutional scholars. 3 said that these were impeachable offenses. When the Republicans say that it's weak on evidence, one of the things we have to remember is that the White House and the Trump administration provided only one piece of paper. That was the so-called transcript, which wasn't a transcript of the call in July. I mean, the partisanship certainly began at the White House. The letter that the White House released yesterday was a 6-page screed. It really was beneath the dignity of the White House. Now, none of that is going to affect any of these votes one way or another. And we're just going to, we are in the unfortunate position, your neighbor to the south, in which we're going to have, for the first time in American history, an impeached president running for re-election, and his party defending things that civil servants in the security in the national security, experts, thought were very disturbing. And it's up to the voters to decide this, because Mitch McConnell has already said that instead of conducting the trial in the Senate in an impartial way, that he's going to communicate and coordinate with the White House. This is a done deal, and it's going to be to the voters in November.
We do have one last question for you. It comes from Kyle, and he asked us via Facebook. He said, what will history say about the Trump impeachment? Adi?
The history will probably follow it the same way that they followed the Clinton impeachment. It was definitely a significant moment in history. People will not forget this moment. However, I think that they will look at it and look back upon it and say that even against adversity and party line voting and approach to impeachment processes, the president was able to overcome something like this and ultimately still succeed. That's what I see happening, and that's what history will write.